Other 3.3, we are journalizing transactions that affect owner's equity into our 5-column journal. As you can see, 3.1 and 3.2 were brought forward with us. Now we're just building off of that and adding in some new twists and new concepts. So we're going to begin with April 12th. On April 12th, we paid cash for rent, $1,000, C4. The expense account, rent expense, increases by a debit of $1,000. And the asset account cash decreases by a credit of $1,000. So our title is going to be rent expense. We are going to general debit $1,000 and cash credit $1,000. And our source document number was C4. On April 13th, we received cash from sales, $2,500, T13. So my date is the 13th. The asset account cash is increased by a debit of $2,500. The revenue account sales is increased by a credit of $2,500. So since we're using cash and sales, those are two special amount column titles. So we're going to use a check mark. We are then going to debit our cash for $2,500 and our sales credit $2,500. So we still have our debit, we still have our credit. And our source document number is going to be T13. Now one extra step here is you're going to put a check mark right here because it's saying that you have posted that in the two spots there. On the 14th, we sold services on account to Al Rohi, $510, S1. The asset account, accounts receivable, Al Rohi, increases by a debit of $510. And the revenue account sales increases by a credit of $510. So to start off, my date is the 14th. My title is accounts receivable. And you can't actually type in the whole word accounts. It has to be ACTCCT, like that. Sorry about that. Accounts receivable, Al Rohi. And we are general debit, $510, and sales credit of $510. Last step for this transaction is our source document is S1. On the 19th, I paid cash for an electric bill, $148, C5. The expense account, utilities expense, increases by a debit of $148. The asset account cash decreases by a credit of $148. My date is the 19th. I'm going to use utilities expense. I am going to general debit. Remember, debit's always before credit. And I am going to credit $148. So I've done my debit for $148 and my credit for $148. And now my last step there is for the source document is C5. On the 20th, I received cash on account from Al Rohi, $255, R2. The asset account cash increased by a debit of $255, while the asset account accounts receivable Al Rohi decreases by a credit of $255. Account title is going to be accounts receivable Al Rohi. I am crediting here and debiting my cash. So I'm gaining cash from him. Last step for this transaction is my R2 as my source document. And for the last transaction, I paid cash to owner for personal use on the 21st, which was $1,000, C6. Norm Derner took money out of his account, so we are decreasing our cash. So 21st. So we're going to do Norm Derner drawings. We're going to use your drawing account. We are general debiting $1,000 because our cash is decreasing or being credited by $1,000. And our source document number is going to be C6. All right, so those are all the transactions for 3.3 work together. Now open up your 3.3 on your own and give it a try and see how you do.